it's Dr. Kellie Cassidy, Clinical Psychologist and the owner at Cassidy Psychology. I just want to talk a little bit today about our Bounce Back program and particularly about what resilience is all about. So our Bounce Back program is designed to help improve children's resilience. When we talk about resilience, we're talking about that ability for children to be able to cope and respond when something bad happens in their life. Now that could be something simple such as forgetting their lunchbox, or it might be something more severe such as being in a car accident perhaps. We all know that there are many difficulties that we face in life that are going to be a challenge for us, and if we don't have the skills and the ability to cope and to bounce back when those difficulties occur, it can make life incredibly challenging. Now we know some children are born to be more resilient than others, but we also know that resilience is a skill that can be learned by kids, and there are things that we can do to help improve people's sense of resilience. And that's really, really important because we know that children that have a sense of resilience and then go on to be adults who are resilient are more likely to get better learning outcomes. They're more likely to have improved physical health and less sickness. They're more likely to have better relationships in their lives, and ultimately they're likely to be more successful. So there's lots and lots of research to support that sense of resilience leads to people being more successful in their lives. So how do we help children to increase their sense of resilience in their life? Well, there's 6 things that I suggest that parents work on. The first one is to make sure your child has problem-solving skills. The thing about resilience isn't just bouncing back, as we talk about in the name of our group. It's also about what we call bouncing forward. So it's not just coming back to where they were before the problem occurred, but it's thinking about how can they move forward from that. What was it that perhaps created that difficulty that they experienced? Now, if it's something completely out of their control, maybe there's nothing else they could do. But if there was something that was within their control, it's worth thinking about that. And often that might boil down to problem-solving skills. So making sure that your child knows how to solve a problem and how to seek out solutions when a problem occurs can be a really important place to start. The second thing I suggest is make sure that your child makes lots of mistakes and you allow them to take lots of risks. As parents, we often don't want our children to experience any distress, and we try to avoid them getting upset, but that then just decreases the number of opportunities they have for building a sense of resilience. So it's really, really important that we allow them to make mistakes and take lots of risks. The third thing is teach them any skills that they're missing. Just like I talked about problem solving, there might be other skills that they need. They might need some communication skills or some assertiveness skills perhaps if they keep having difficulties in their friendships. They could be lacking a skill in all manner of different things. So think about when your child experiences difficulty, are there any skills that are lacking from that? One of the ways to do that is my fourth tip, which is to ask your child how questions. So when something goes wrong, say they come home late from school, instead of saying, "Why are you late? Why didn't you come home at the time you were supposed to?" Ask them, how did you decide when it was the right time to come home? How did you figure out what was going to happen in this scenario? And that way you get to understand their thinking a lot better, and you'll also likely avoid some of their resistance to getting in trouble in that first instance. Again, this possibly will highlight some skill deficits or something else they need to learn in order for them to be more successful in their life. Now, the fifth one's a big one. Teach children how to manage emotions. If they don't know how to manage their emotions and no one's actually taught them how to manage their emotions, they're less likely to be resilient. It's a really key and fundamental thing to building resilience in kids. So make sure that you're giving them that opportunity to learn how to deal with their emotions. And then finally, the last one is make sure that you're modeling resilience to your kids. Now, you might be a really resilient person and they might be picking up on that, but they might not. So make sure you're also explicit in that modeling. Make sure you're showing them how you bounce back when you have a problem. Talk them through the process that you go through rather than them thinking that they might be observing what you're doing. And by doing that, you're showing them some really important coping skills. And that is really, really valuable. So I hope that helps give you some ideas of ways to build resilience in your children. If you're finding that you've got a young person who isn't particularly resilient, who might benefit from a little bit more than those 6 tips that I've offered today, consider our Bounce Back program. Okay, it's a 6-week program. It's got lots and lots of skills built into it. It also includes lots of parent handouts and things to practice at home so that you can keep developing and building on those skills with your child. And hopefully that will give them that boost they need to feeling more resilient within their life. The other thing you can do is check out our blog. I'll include a link on our website to that as well, which will give you a bit of extra reading on some of the things that I've talked about today, so that you've got something to think about and things that you can go and implement. I hope you find that useful. As always, here at Cassidy Psychology, we're working together with you to help you flourish and thrive. Bye for now.